you to get to know about everything that is happening around you. And it's equally time for another scintillating outing this morning. It's Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Where every citizen counts. As you always know, before we go ahead on We Town with EKENE EZEPUE this morning, I'm gonna be serving you hot. Your weekly news roundup. Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Of course, let's hit the ground running. The President Buhari returns to Abuja after 2 weeks of medical vacation in the UK. The new estimation suggests that 133 million Nigerians are estimated poor. And that's 63% of our population. And that's a very sad one there. In case you don't know, this is that segment that features everything that happened through the week. And it's called the Weekly News Roundup. Of course, Abuja House of Assembly okays females to inherit landed properties. And of course, you know this calls for a celebration in the women world. You can actually inherit your father's property in peace if you're a woman. And all these things happened this week as well. Of course, Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State presents 2023 budget of 472 billion naira at the State Assembly. He called the 2023 budget the budget of continued development and prosperity. Of course, what this means is that Ogun State is actually ready to go about their 2023 fiscal year. And all these things happen this week as well. It's still your darling program, We Time with EKENE Ezepue on 93.7 FM, Citizen FM, Abuja. And this is your darling segment with your weekly news roundup, where we serve you everything that happened during the week, within the week, through the week, hot. Frees ex-Secretary General of the Federation, Babashir Lawal, of 544 million grass cutting contract fraud. And of course, what happened this week as well was the All Progressive Congress had kicked off its campaign at Jos amidst pomps and pageantry. Of course, all the who is who in the party, we are in full glare. Of course, Buhari sacks NYSC Director General Brigadier General Mohammed Fada after spending 6 months in the office. And all these things happened this week as well. Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. And it's your darling program, We Time with EKENE Ezepue. And on the sports scene this morning, FIFA assures of VAR to be very, very accurate in the Qatar World Cup, which kicks off tomorrow, 20th of November. Because you know what that means? It simply means that the officiating in the FIFA World Cup will be very, very, very spot on. No mistakes whatsoever. And of course, you know that the World Cup kicks off tomorrow. Talking about FIFA Qatar World Cup. And on the foreign scene this morning, Russia seeks for prisoner swap with the U.S. That particular foreign news story is going to bring the segment of this weekly news roundup to the end. And we're moving straight to another segment on our program, which is the discussion segment. And on my discussion segment this morning, talking about the interview segment. I have the spokesperson of Obi-Datti Presidential Campaign Organization. And she's no other person than SANI KAZAURE. I will be looking into the Labour Party's 2023 general elections and the chances of Labour Party. Ladies and gentlemen, this is We Town with EKENE EZEPUE this morning. How y'all doing? Hope you are having a very wonderful weekend. And this is that scintillating program of yours called We Town with EKENE EZEPUE on your darling station, Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. How you doing? This is a very lovely weekend, and the Harmattan is actually blowing. Hope you're taking care of those leaves of yours. All right, ladies and gentlemen, right about now, we'll be discussing with our special guest this morning, SANI KAZAURE, that's the spokesperson of Obi-Datti Presidential Campaign Organization. How you doing this morning, ma'am? How
Very
you
well,
doing?
thank you. Good morning, listeners. Good to be on the show. I'm nervous, but let's go.
All right, yeah, spokesperson, nervous. Sounds somehow actually, but it's okay.
I'm human.
Of course, you are. All right. What are the chances of Labour Party clinching the number one seat, the number one job in the country come 2023? What are those things? You know, you talked about being nervous. Are you being nervous going into this?
Of course not. We're not nervous going into this. We're prepared. We have a very sellable candidate. He has shown in his antecedents, when you look at his trajectory, you see that the man has shown that he's competent. He has shown that he's a cut above the rest. Peter Obi is an inspiration. And when you look at how in just a few months he has been able to gather and unite Nigerians, and we're saying, this is whom we choose, this is our choice from our heart, then you know that we have very strong chances. This is now, I think for the first time, Nigerians have grown into their own democratically. And when you see when you see the following of a man like Peter Obi and his vice presidential candidate, people have called us all kinds of names. New kids on the block. We're the underdogs, or we're just four people tweeting from a room. And then you go to the States and you see the rallies, and you see that these four people aren't robots. They are real human beings, living, breathing human beings running into the millions. then you know that our chances are very high.
Okay, Labour Party, that's spokesperson of Labour Party, talking about no other person than Nana SANI KAZAURE. You are on the show this morning to talk about the chances of the Labour Parties. A whole lot of other people are asking this question. The ones on the street, actually, people are concerned about the followership and the. If Labour Party can boast of followership in the South, Southeast, Southwest, maybe Southeast, precisely, South, how can you boast of followership in the North?
The North is I've always said this thing. We're very different. In the North, the way we do our politics is not how you guys run it in the South. No offense to how you do it. It's good, it's applaudable. But you have to understand that Northern politics is very discreet. We don't come out, you just see that we've done what we need to do. For example, with no disrespect to anyone, you can see the G5 and the way it goes. It's commendable that they're taking a stand, but then it's noisy as well. Now, in the North, we don't particularly operate that way. I've always said it, we are discreet, and what we do is you just see that we have done the groundwork in silence and with discretion. So what you see are results. That's how we do our politics up north. So when people say, oh, there's followership in the South, or you have the Southeast and the North, it is presumptuous for anyone to think that the North is not poised and the North is not listening. We also want good governance. We also want somebody who will show us that he's competent, somebody who will show us that there can be a change in terms of security. When you look at the situation of security, I dare say that the North has been very hard hit over the years, and we want peace because we are a peaceful people. We want our children to go back to school. We want to know that we're secure the next meal. We want to go back to our farms because we're very agrarian in the way we operate. We are communal. Northerners are very communal. So you see us in our clusters. We don't want to lose those things that are important to us that make us the North, that make us Northern. We're losing that because of the instability. We're losing a lot of those things, and we want it back. Many of us see it in the new kid on the block, in Peter Obi, what he represents.
Okay, now your vice presidential candidate is actually from the North, yes. From Zaria. You are from Jigawa State.
Yes.
What do you think this means in the kind of votes the Labour Party will get?
I don't understand what you mean.
How will Labour Party, in terms of what's the followership of the vice presidential?
You want me to give you numbers?
Not really numbers. Like, can you really boast of something huge coming from your presidential candidates from Zaria? Actually?
Yes, from the Northwest as a bulk, yes. We can. Because like I said already, it's the same answer I gave you before, I'll give you now. The North is warming up. The North is listening. The North is poised. The North wants change. And when we go into the grassroots and we have our conversations, they will ask you, what are the new things that people are going to bring? And then we have a trajectory.
Do you know the word on the street?
What is the word on the street?
The word on the street is that the only place you're going to get votes is from the southern Kaduna, or maybe from maybe North Central, but no, the real core North.
That's the word on the street.
Yeah.
It is the elections that will now be the deciding factor. Let us see. It's simple because I don't know where that comes from. One thing I always have prided myself about Northern Nigeria is that we are very politically astute. But then the increase in prices of food, for example, we're not buying food cheaper than people from the Southwest. It pinches us too. So we want a situation where things can be better. We understand also that bringing in a man like Peter Obi it's going to be a very bumpy ride, and we all have to fasten our seatbelts. But for anybody to think that core Northerners are not looking at the possibility of bringing in a Peter Obi. For example, I remember some state governor, I refuse to mention the person's name, said that people think Peter Obi is just the name of a footballer. But that's not true. People know who Peter Obi is. People are expectant of what Peter Obi can bring to the table. And that is why I keep saying that what we focus on is our grassroots. It's an educational thing. We educate, we speak, we tell people what his prospects are, what he was able to do when he was governor for 8 years in his state. And I tell you that the North is beginning to warm up. The North is beginning to lean toward this new opportunity, this new chance, because we were part of the 23 years. We're not oblivious of what has happened in 23 years. So every well-meaning Nigerian, and the North inclusive, they want something new, and we're willing to try something new and say, you know what, give this a chance. Let new people come and let them try. Let them be the ones to show us how competent they can be. They're the ones, let them show us their capabilities, because we don't have much hope in what has happened in the past 23 years.
Okay. Now, we want to look at your manifesto, 7-point on the agenda. Recently, it was actually leaked, and your presidential candidate, your principal, came out to say no, that it's not really ready for the public. You know, that was a mistake. That was what he said, actually. Now, do you feel that is ready now for Nigerians to know your manifesto?
It's almost ready. It will be out very soon. I've always said when I've been interviewed, it's not a competition as per who brings out his manifesto first, because we're going to do the responsible thing. We're not going to bring out a manifesto where people are going to say, oh, but you said this or you wrote this and then you're not doing this. No, that's not what we are about. We're not going to bring out a manifesto and just drop it like it's hot. No, we're going to keep holding it and make sure that it remains warm, and it is something that the Nigerian people accept. It is unprecedented what we're trying to do. We've asked for that. It is being considered. Please note, our manifesto is not just about the technocrats looking into the document. We also have ordinary Nigerians looking into the document. That's why it has taken some time. Unprecedented in Nigerian history. We're also hoping that we can actually have Nigerians sign in and be part of the manifesto. So that's why, even though it was leaked, you can see that the title of our manifesto is just not manifesto. It's not just a working document. It's a pact between Peter Obi and the Nigerian people that he intends to lead. What better way to show that this will be a listening government? What better way to know that it will not be comatose to the issues that plague Nigerians? There are a plethora of issues that we can begin to talk about. This man and his vice presidential candidate are very keen on ensuring that they are touching base with the issues that face Nigerians, not just on the surface, but we want to dig deep, and as deep as we can, to ensure that whatever it is we put on the table works hand in glove with what the Nigerian people expect. We've suffered a lot. We have, from time immemorial, how many decades of military rule, how many decades now? We've had 2+ decades of a democracy. Yeah, we are very young. We must always remember that we are a very young democracy, and it has been a learning curve for us. But then there's also the time to begin to think, you know what, let's begin to mature. Let's begin to do things. Let's begin to understand. And that's where I come in. I'm really happy that now Nigerians can genuinely ask questions. Nigerians can genuinely say, I want to be part of this process. Nigerians can genuinely say, we want this change. We want it to go this way. We want to know who's leading us. We want to know how we're going to get there. There was a time where it was almost impossible for people to air their views. That's not the Nigeria of today. Nigerians are more aware. Nigerians are more informed. Nigerians this time want to partake in the daily running of our country, because we have a very beautiful country. Even our diversity is what makes us very unique and very beautiful.
Okay, that's the voice of Nana Sani KAZAURE, and she is the no other person than the spokesperson of Obi-Datti Presidential Campaign Organization. All right, ma'am. Now, we want to talk about this angle of consumption to production. That has always been in the lead of your principle. Some people say talk is cheap. Sorry if I might use that word. Now, Nigerians are beginning to ask questions because they've had promises over time. People are hearing this is the electioneering period, and the people are coming up with different promises. Consumption to production. People are promising their own. How is he going to make all these things a reality?
It's easy. The Nigerian people themselves want the reality. Nigerian people themselves are asking for better roads, better security, to be able to go to school, to be able to work. Nigerians are not lazy. Have you ever woken up at 5:30 a.m. and not met Meiko say that's the woman selling akara already on the street? Nigerians are so dogged. That's why every time we go to a country where things work, we excel. So what we're looking for is a leader that will say to us, I'm going to, and that's why I said to you, it's a pact between his leadership and the Nigerian people. Nigerians are the most, I dare say we're the most intelligent on this continent. In fact, in the whole world, Nigerians work hard and it's easy. I believe with all my heart that it is very, very easy for us to move from a consumption economy to a producing economy because many of us are entrepreneurs. As I am, I run 3 businesses, so I earn a legitimate income. It is easy for me to understand of which one of them is manufacturing. It's just a small business, but then I do understand what it is to go into production. I understand how jobs can be created because we are now the ones doing the producing. I understand that the power and the quality lies in our hands. That means that when our economy grows, the quality of our life will improve. Because I'm in manufacturing, I understand. But you see, if we keep consuming and importing, then we'll remain where we are. We will not develop. The talent that Nigeria has will never develop. The people who naturally are inborn entrepreneurs can't grow because they're probably just doing laborers' work as opposed to putting round pegs in round holes. I hope I was able to get that point across properly. So right. It's for me, it's a raw nerve. I do want for us to be a producing country because we have everything it takes. Natural resources, Nigeria is at the peak. In terms of human resources, Nigeria is at the peak. Men, women, young adults. Even in the tech industry, Nigerians are at its peak. So we do need to go into production for our country to take a turnaround for the better.
Okay, now these are the question. Now, I want to ask you, where are those gray areas that your principal wants to start focusing on in terms of this production that he's talking about? Has he been able to identify those strengths, those places that if he channels his production to, he's gonna get the desired result?
It is music to every northerner's ears. It is music to everybody from the North Central because, like I said earlier, we are an agrarian society. It is music to hear that the vast arable lands of the North will be converted to the oil of the country. We already have the farmers. We understand the wealth of oil, but we also do understand that if we don't enter production, people will starve. It is music to our ears that children who ordinarily, young adults who ordinarily may have fallen into deviant ways can get to work. An idle mind is what the devil's workshop. People get to work, employment will be created, people can eat, people can feed. He has always said it that money will be made available for the people who are true agriculturists, not phantom agriculturists. So you will have to bring proof that this is what you do, you have the land, and all these things. And once we are able to do that, you understand, because like I told you, I'm in manufacturing. We are now going to educate the people on how to process their foods properly and make more money, even for export. So it's a win-win situation for Nigerians. And I dare say that it was when Peter Obi started to talk about consumption to production that the other parties started to say the same thing and sing the same song. I've always said that Peter Obi leads and the rest follow.
Wow. Peter Obi okay, that's one of the spokesperson of Obi-Datti campaign, presidential campaign organization. All right, Nana SANI KAZAURE is still in the studio, and we are unfolding a lot of questions to make sure that we get Nigeria clear on what they should be expecting in case your candidate clinches the #1 seat in the country. Now, these questions keeps coming up. Terrorism. What are those plans that your candidate has mapped out in terms of tackling terrorism, nipping it in the bud, bringing it to a standstill?
I'll just give you a very brief overview. Even in the last town hall meeting, he said something which really resonated with me. He said, when people are hungry and they're poor and idle, that's when they go into these deviant ways. So by the time they are gainfully employed, especially the agrarian sector, and all this, then you will see that it will reduce drastically. When they are making money from doing what they're doing, why would they want to carry arms? You understand? So that's one thing, but I'm not going to sit down here and divulge certain information. I'm not at liberty to share security information. That's not that's not why I'm spokesperson. Nobody who knows what they want to do to administer Nigeria the way she is now in terms of security will come and start to reel out those plans. So please, can we move to the next?
Okay, now we want to ask you about this health sector. The question about health sector. Now, it's become a norm for the elites to travel out for medical vacations and all that. What are those plans that your candidate is bringing to bear to make sure that we stop foreign medical vacation?
Two things that Peter Obi has always said. Number one, he's not one of those that go for on tour or on tour. He's not known to do that. That's number one. Number two, he has said that the cost of governance is too expensive. It's too much. We're spending too much on the cost of running the government. So he intends to put some checks and balances and plug those leakages that makes Nigeria hemorrhage. He has said that those monies he's able to save will go back into the health sector. And let me tell you, except you've been living under a rock, you should know that the vice presidential candidate has, even in Abuja, a state-of-the-art hospital. These are progressive men. These are men that want Nigeria to move forward, even with the things that they do. The vice presidential candidate is into the education sector. He has a university here in Abuja. He has one in Kano. And he has just, finished building, and I think it's operational or will soon be in operation, the base hospital. So what are we talking about? These are people who, how will I say it now? They be talk na do. They're already doing before they started even talking. Why would anybody doubt their competency or their capability to be able to steer Nigeria where she belongs?
Yeah, actually, over time and in the pattern,
they didn't go. Like the vice presidential candidate didn't go like some of our people we've heard own hospitals abroad. He invested what he had into Nigeria on Nigerian soil for Nigerians. That is a patriot.
Okay, now let's talk about crime. The crime rate in Nigeria is so alarming. So even in the states that your presidential candidate actually come from, it's very, very alarming. In the southeast, in the north, it's crime everywhere. What are those plans that your candidate is bringing out to make sure that crime is brought to zero in Nigeria?
We say something in Hausa that if you want to know how Friday will be, if you want to know if Friday will be good, from Wednesday, you begin to see that Friday will be good. So let's go back. What we want to do is go right back. So let's go back to when he was governor in Anambra State and what he did for security. Over 250 vehicles were given to the security, and he made sure that he bought Innoson vehicles. Innoson, is owned by a Nigerian. So 250 vehicles, and I think 50 armored vehicles were donated to the police. So this was a man, and the IG of police in the last 3 years of his tenure as governor said it, that there had been no single armed robbery in Anambra State. So the question we should now ask is, what happened? How come the people who took over the reins haven't been able to sustain those things that he put in place for security? But you can see that this is a no-nonsense man. And he has also said, because this is a democracy, there are people who have fallen into what we call crime now and have aided the insecurity in Nigeria because they feel aggrieved by the Nigerian government. And Peter Obi has said he will sit and dialogue as long as you are not a criminal. He will sit and dialogue with agitators, because it is your right to form your group. It is your right to agitate. What is not your right is not to harm people, and not to harm people and their properties. So he says that he will speak with these agitators, people who are not happy, and we will see how we can, because dialogue is important in leadership. I've always said that leadership, governance, and governing is a verb. It's a doing word. It is something you must do. You must be seen to do it. So that's it. It's not Labour Party that has put Nigeria where she is right now. We must always remember that we are the ones that are coming with something new. We're bringing all the things that we believe are possible. We're bringing it possible, Peter Obi possible, and that's what we're gunning for. It's not the Labour Party's fault that we have the insecurities that we have. It's not our fault that we've had the economic crisis that we have, or that the average Nigerian standard of living has dropped. It's not us that promised one naira to the dollar, and today we're talking over 700 naira. So you cannot put that on us. We won't take it. Instead, what we're here to do is to bring. What we're here to do is to say, Nigerians, together, let's move our country forward. Let's not give up hope on each other. Let's move forward.
Let's move forward. That's the voice of Nana Sani KAZAURE. And
forward ever, Labour Party. It's all about ahead. Let's go there.
Okay, that's the voice of Nana Sani KAZAURE, the spokesperson Obi-Datti Presidential Campaign Organization. And we are still speaking with you. Just recently, the governor of Anambra State actually descended on your candidate. What's your take on that? He said recently that the investment that he claimed to put up in Anambra State was worth to nothing, and he still said on another 25-page article that he released recently that he's not going to win election. How will you respond to this as a spokesperson of Obi-Datti movement?
First and foremost, I really don't like talking about this particular situation because I know that he's a professor. I do not know that he's a prophet. So how he can already be seeing the future that we cannot win, beats me. Secondly, that is, I read, I think I got to the 10th paragraph, and it was it was just a rant. I couldn't make out what it was his real issue was with His Excellency Peter Obi. And he has a lot of time on his hand, to be right. And, I saw part 1. And that, for me, just said, he rode on. I did some research about him because of this outburst. And I saw when he was campaigning, he put Soludo solutions. So can we see him preferring solutions for Anambra State? And if he's, that good, he's a Nigerian, he should prefer solutions rather than come and be bickering, and ranting like he did. I could not see any basis for what he said. But whether knowingly or unknowingly, he has indicted the parties that have administered us before. in the past 23 years. Because for him to say that somebody's investment, so that means you and I now, I've told you I'm a businesswoman. That means my 100,000 that I invested 7 years ago is worth nothing. So you can imagine what the average Nigerian is going through because of bad policies, or because those policies were not put in motion, or they were not monitored to ensure that we grow. Because one thing I know is that bad policies do not grow investments. So he has just indicted the PDP and the APC in his bid to try and bring down my principal. As far as I'm concerned, he has just... That's what I took from his rant. When you say somebody's investment, when he left office, I think in 2014, is worth nothing now, then that is an indictment on the administration, economic policies that they've put in place. That's just it for me. It's just common sense.
All right, then we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll be asking you this question. You are a northerner. Why are you supporting a southerner in a presidential race? And that's when we return from this short break. And don't forget that you can be part of our conversation by calling on our hotline. Try and be part of our conversation when we return.
Nigerians will kill.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this one from Timmy Dakolo. He called this one, "We Believe in Nigeria." Of course we do.
As a people, with one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and voiced. We will take us down and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom rise and truth prevails, our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll defend
Of course, that's a very lovely song from Timida Kolo. He called as well. We believe in Nigeria. Of course, you know we do. We do believe in Nigeria, and that's why we are here trying to bring all the candidates and all the spokespersons to make sure that they tell you what the plans they have for you Nigerians, for we Nigerians, so that we get to know whether we are actually making the right choice. Of course, you have the PVC in your hand. That's your power, okay? You better make sure you use it. Hello, who's on the line, ladies? Who's on the line?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing this morning?
Fine.
All right. What's the name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, I am IG Noble from Orozo.
IG Nobles from Orozo. All right, please go ahead and make your contribution.
First of all, I want to comment about spokesperson. They have really spoken very well.
Thank you.
And she doesn't need to be nervous at all.
All right.
He really tried. I just want to chip in one or two things, please. This issue of the party logo, the emblem, what do they call it? Yes, you need to let people know at the grassroots. That's very, very important. People really want to go for this, but people are yet to know what exactly is the thing they have to look out for. So that is just one of the main things that we need to work on very seriously.
Okay.
Then secondly, as I round up, the issue of these people sharing posters here and there, I don't know what they are doing to guard against such things. Because we know that some states...
People sharing what?
Sharing posters or anything that will let them know of another party that is not in charge in that state. So what exactly the party doing? Maybe are they complaining to INEC or to right organizations to make sure that they don't allow people to keep on destroying posters?
Okay.
But that is just what we want. We need to work on very well.
All right. Thank you very much, Haji Nobles. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Madam, you have to respond to this.
About the INEC situation. Day before yesterday and yesterday, we even had a mini protest from Unity Fountain all the way to the INEC office.
Let's get this caller too.
Okay.
Hello, who's on the line, please? And where are you calling us from?
Hello. Yes, my name is Sali Gorko. I'm calling from Mararawa.
Sally Coco.
Gorko. G-O-R-K-O.
Sally Coco.
Gorko, yes.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes, how are you?
I'm all right. And you?
Yeah, I'm very, very
Please
fine.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I've listened to your guest over there. And, she has spoken very well. But the truth of the matter is that what she's saying is completely different from what is on the ground, what Nigerians are going through. And like I've said, it's just a hype, subclip statement, rhetorics. You know, all these things are just meant for the elite. And thank God somebody like the governor of Anambra State has stated it. Peter Obi is going nowhere. That is the truth. And I'm in support of what he has said.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Saliu Goko. You are entitled to your opinion, and thank you for sharing it.
All right, Sally. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Don't forget to be part of this conversation. Call us on our line 09032 22 9797. I call it again 09032 22 9797. Or you call us on our other line 081 822 22 205. 081 82 22 2205. Call us on our line and be part of this conversation. All right. Hello, who's on the line, please?
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
All right,
Thank you
please go
very
ahead.
much.
Make your contribution.
I'm enjoying your program.
Thank you. Sorry, please. Who is on the line and where are you calling us from?
Yes, my name is Bishop Elijah.
Bishop Elijah. Where are you calling us from,
Yes.
Bishop Elijah?
No, I haven't done with my introduction. My name is Bishop Elijah, the spokesperson of PDAPC. I'm calling you from Abuja.
Okay. All right, please go ahead.
Yes. You see, the return of democracy, we haven't had, a very complex election that, no political analyst or either anybody at all or a prophet can determine the outcome of this election. See, let me tell you something. When people speak out of frustration and confusion, you can consider that, but the outcome will, determine the final thing. See, as a matter of fact, if anybody comes and tell you that, yes, Peter Obi, very much, I respect your opinion, but please let's meet at the poll. See, let me tell you something. Long before now, Soludo is one person in the East that he's kind of a political, the way he plays his politics is a very envious and jealous kind of politics. Remember, when you look at people, when you look way back, people like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Eze Ubi Kwesili, these are people that Soludo attack. Because he's this kind of person. See, let me tell you something. I will categorically tell you.
All right, be rounding off. We're out of time. Be rounding off, please.
Yeah. Rounding off, I will categorically tell you that someone have deceived him. That fight for me, I will make you the next president in Igbo land. But that is just a dream that will not come true. A destiny that will go nowhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Elijah. Thank you so very much for being part of the show this morning. All right, I think that's going to be our last caller. I'll allow you to react to this. But before you react to this, I want you to tell me why you are supporting a Southern candidate.
First and foremost, I'm a Nigerian, and this is a democracy, lest I remind you. But then I had my own mapping, as I like to call it. I have never shared this, but my mentor did ask me, and I said these were my reasons, and he said to me, you know what, Kichigaba, feel free, mention what it is. Now, we have 6 geopolitical zones, yes?
Okay.
There's the northeast, the northwest, there's the north central, southwest, south-south, and southeast. And this was just my mapping. The Northwest has been president twice. Late President Yar'Adua and Buhari. Southwest has also been president. South-South has also been president. That's 3 geopolitical zones. Okay. We're left with the North Central, we're left with the Northeast, and we're left with the Southeast. I started always ensuring that I cast my vote since 2007. And ever since Atiku has been coming forth, I've never voted along his lines. I've never quite agreed with him. Just a personal thing. When APC now brought Tinubu, from the bottom of my heart, I knew that I wasn't going to vote in a Tinubu, for example, not my preferred candidate. So that put that to rest. And then I had the 3 other geopolitical zones left: Southeast, North Central. North Central didn't float anybody that I am aware of. And the South-South, no. And the Northeast is floating Atiku, who has never been my preferred candidate. So I was just left with one person. So it's me and my conscience. And that's why I said, you know what? We always say we have 3 major tribes in Nigeria. So why not? And that's why I'm where I am today. Why not?
All right, that's going to be the size of our package this morning. We have a lot to talk about. Just a little, just chip in 1 or 2 things, just like in 30 seconds, about our caller, so that it will be at least.
Thank you very much for the 3 callers that called in. Thank you for those who are in support, and even thank you for those who are not in support. The person that called from Mararaba, he's entitled to his. That's why democracy is good. That's why it's sweet. It's okay for him to agree with Soludo. It's okay for him to feel the way he does. He's an adult. He should go to the polls. He should exercise his right. Thank you to the first caller who said to us that the logo, people need to, it's something that we've been doing in the sensitization, and it's work that we keep doing in progress while we are campaigning. He also talked about
30 seconds. Okay.
You know, we've signed the peace agreement, and we hope that Nigerians and the people who are leading and the political leaders can say to their people, no, there's no need for violence. Leave people's posters alone. Allow them campaign. What we want is a better Nigeria because it affects us all.
All right, that's the voice of Nana SANI KAZAURE. Thank you for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, so that's going to be the side of our package. See you next week on We Time with EKENE EZEPUE. Keep listening to Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. Bye for now.